Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal episode number 352 based on novel. So let's start. Wang Lin didn't say the specific reason and simply avoided the topic. The more he was like this, the more strange Ouyang Long felt. He felt the ordinary-looking youth in white was shrouded in mystery. Ouyang Long couldn't make Wang Lin answer by force, so he could only smile and shake his head. He no longer mentioned this matter and instead reminded Wang Lin, fellow cultivator, this is a private auction. According to the rules, the thing they hate the most are those who hide their appearance. After that, they arrived at the end of the tunnel and he knocked on the stone door a few times. A moment later, the stone door trembled and ripples spread out in a circle on its surface as if it was melting. Ouyang Long looked back at Wang Lin before disappearing into the ripples. Wang Lin pondered a bit and didn't cover his appearance. Since he dared to come, he wasn't afraid of causing trouble. He walked into the ripples and disappeared. His vision blurred. When his vision was clear again, his eyes narrowed. He looked around and saw that this was a room about 100 feet wide. The floor was made of some unknown material that was transparent so you could see the fierce beasts battling below. There were some seats scattered around the room with one at the center. There were 7 cultivators sitting in their chairs, and none of them were hiding their faces. When Wang Lin entered, all their gazes gathered on him. These people's gazes were like swords and were extremely sharp. Their gazes seemed almost solid and could make anyone feel chills. One of them was startled for a moment after seeing Wang Lin, but he soon returned to normal and smiled. The person sitting in the seat in the front was an old man with silver hair wearing a grey robe. His eyes were slightly open, but there was a hidden flash of light in his eyes when he looked at Wang Lin. This cultivator was at the mid-stage of Nirvana Chakra. Behind him, Ouyang Long bent over and whispered something into his ear. Wang Lin's expression was neutral as he walked forward before everyone's gazes. He arrived before a set and calmly sat down. His eyes were calm as he looked at the crowd before clasping his hands at the person that had smiled at him. Wuing didn't expect to see Wang Lin here and was surprised. However, for Wang Lin to be able to enter a private auction like this made Wuing think even more highly of him. As Wang Lin casually swept his gaze, everyone present, aside from the old man that was obviously Ouyang Long's uncle master and Wuing, was at the early stage of Nirvana Chakra. The person sitting opposite of Wang Lin was a young scholar with a fair complexion. He gently waved the feather fan in his hand, revealing no emotion. When Wang Lin looked at him, he looked back at Wang Lin with a hint of interest in his eyes. There was a beautiful woman sitting beside him. She was wearing a beautiful, flowered dress and sat there with a hint of laziness. She took one look at Wang Lin and then no longer paid any attention to him. There was an old man sitting not far away. His appearance was very strange, his face was filled with scars and looked terrifying at first glance. He had a gloomy expression as he kept rotating the ring on his right forefinger. Aside from those 3 people, the other 2 also looked at the calm Wang Lin. Not far to the left sat an old man in black. This old man was skinny and had eagle claw-like hands. There were 2 balls the size of a baby's fist in his left hand. The balls kept rotating around each other and would sometimes make some sound when they collided. The last person was an old woman with snow-white hair, wrinkly skin, and a green robe. She sat there motionlessly. Wang Lin's gaze swept by. Her eyes were like lightning, and she coldly looked at Wang Lin again. This was obviously a small auction meant only for Nirvana Chakra cultivators. To enter here, one had to have the identity and strength. If it wasn't for the fact that Wang Lin had easily injured the 3 people from the Devil Collection sect and his transaction was quite large, it would have been difficult for him to enter here. Even though he had entered this place, he was at the bottom in everyone else's eyes. After Ouyang Long finished speaking with the old man, he stood straight and respectfully stood on the side. The old man let out a dry cough and his gaze swept past the cultivators in the room. His hoarse voice echoed within the room. Today is a private meeting that I, Master Ashen Pine, have set up. Everyone invited is my old friend, and, of course, we do have 2 new friends as well. I won't bother with polite words. According to the old rules, let us set the first bet for the jackpot. After the old man finished speaking, Ouyang Lon immediately stepped forward and took out 6 pieces of jade. He passed them out to everyone, including Wang Lin, and respectfully handed the last one to the old man. Wang Lin held up the jade and his divine Seine swept it. He immediately saw information of more than 100 fierce beasts inside. There is even a sword lion beast. This old man will bet on this beast. The old man covered in scars laughed. His divine sense made an adjustment to the jade and then he threw it at Ouyang Long. Wang Lin calmly checked each fierce beast inside the jade. He wasn't knowledgeable about fierce beasts. Everything he knew came from the records of the origin sect, which was not enough. Most of the fierce beasts inside were not in the origin sect's records. Wang Lin gained a lot knowledge about fierce beasts as he checked the jade. Seeing how most of the others had thrown their jades, Wang Lin chose a beast called Wind Cloud, placed 100 celestial jades, and threw it back at Ouyang Long. The white-haired old man smiled and said, "Today I want to see which one of us has the best judgment. We will know the answer later. Now, I have 3 treasures here. If any of you are interested, you are free to make an offer." As the old man spoke, he waved his right hand and 3 crystals flew out and floated in the air. The first item was a flying sword. It was made of crystal and gave off a cold aura. There was a red line moving inside it, giving this flying sword an evil aura. The second item was a broken armor. It gave off an ancient aura as if the passage of time had carved itself onto it. The third item was a pill. This pill was completely black and didn't have the fragrance of pills. Instead, it gave off a terrifying aura, which made Wang Lin's gaze linger on it for a moment. The first item is the blood crystal sword. I killed almost 1,000 rank 8 fierce beasts and used all their blood to refine this. I also asked Senior Dao Yi to enlighten it when I made it, so its power increased greatly. The line of blood inside contains a strange poison, making it so that on top of injuring the body, even the origin soul will be poisoned. Senior Dao Yi enlightened it. The beautiful young woman in the flower dress waved her hand and the blood crystal sword flew into her hand. After taking a closer look, she let go of the sword and it flew back. The second item has a set of spells recorded on it, but it is broken, so it is impossible to cultivate. What a pity. As for the third item, it will depend on you fellow cultivators' insight. If you want to exchange, you must follow my rule. I only want celestial jades. The old man smiled and looked at everyone. Aside from Wang Lin and the old woman in green, who didn't move, the other 4 all looked at the treasures one by one. The beautiful woman bought the crystal sword. As for the specific price, no one else knew. As for the fragment, no one asked any questions. Wang Lin's expression was calm as he waved his right hand and the fragment flew into his hand. His divine sense spread out over it, but he wasn't focused on the spells inside and instead was focused on the material. This fragment was like a bone, but after looking carefully, it didn't look like it was one. Wang Lin couldn't help but ponder. The middle-aged scholar held the black pill in his hand and sniffed it. He revealed a look of hesitation as he turned toward the old man and said, "Master Ashenpine, I offer 500 celestial jades for this pill." Master Ashenpine shook his head and slowly said, 100-fold. After he spoke, all the surrounding cultivators' eyes narrowed and looked at the pill. These cultivators were all at the Nirvana Shatterer stage and therefore wouldn't display their emotions. Although they all looked at the pill, outsiders would find it hard to see through what they were thinking. The middle-aged man was silent for a moment before revealing a smile. After he heard the price, he was convinced of his own speculation. He put the pill away and nodded at Master Ashenpine. Master Ashenpine smiled as his gaze fell on Wang Lin and he laughed. "Does fellow cultivator fancy this?" Wang Lin looked up, revealing a look of hesitation. He thought for a bit and said, "This thing is useless, but I'm interested in rare things, so I offer 100 celestial jades." Master Ashenpine pondered slightly and then waved his hand with a laugh. "I originally didn't intend to sell it and mainly wanted to see if any of you would recognize it. Since fellow cultivator likes it, then I'll gift it to you." Wang Lin clasped his hands to say his thanks and put away the fragment. The old man holding the two balls slowly said, "This old man was really blind. I didn't expect that pill to really be the chaotic origin pill that can threaten Nirvana Shatterer cultivators. However, just one pill isn't strong enough." As he spoke, the old man waved his hand and two items flew out. They floated in the air. They were a red feather and a bubble the size of a head. There was a beast soul inside the bubble. Half of the beast was dragon and the other half was fog. It was struggling in an attempt to escape from the bubble. The moment these two items were taken out, everyone looked over at them. The moment Wang Lin saw the red feather, he was shocked, but he concealed it very well, so none of it showed. The first item is the rumored feather of the vermilion bird. Although it is difficult to distinguish if it's real, the fire origin energy in it is strong. The second item needs no introduction. It is a semifog rank 12 beast soul. I don't have as many rules as Master Ashenpine and will take anything in exchange as long as I like it. After the old man finished speaking, he silently examined everyone. Unfortunately, it is only a half-fog beast. What a pity. Wuing looked at the fierce beast in the bubble and shook his head with a sigh. If it was a real fog beast, why would I sell it? The old man coldly snorted. Wuing faintly smiled. He didn't speak, and it was impossible to tell if he was happy or angry. The two things this skinny old man had taken out aroused the attention of everyone here. Wang Lin let out a sigh. He was interested in the rank 12 beast, but its price would not be low, and because it was semifog, its value would be even higher. As a result, there were more people offering on it. However, the old man still didn't nod, which made the surrounding cultivators frown. Master Ashenpine stared at the bubble and his eyes lit up. After a long time, he withdrew his gaze and passed the old man a message. The old man's expression changed for the first time, but after pondering for a bit, he shook his head. Master Ashenpine let out a sigh and no longer offered. Just at this moment, the old woman that wasn't moved by any treasure waved her right hand and a jade flew toward the old man in black. The old man scanned the jade with his divine sense and his eyes shined like never before. He closed his eyes and pondered for a long time but still didn't nod. I'll add a map of the rank 6 region. I personally made this chart and collected information for a long time. Although I don't dare to say it covers everything, at least 30% of the rank 6 region is inside. There are also several wild continents that only I know of. The old woman's voice was hoarse as she slowly spoke. I don't want your star map. Add another 10,000 celestial jades. The old man in black opened his eyes, and his voice was resolute. The old woman frowned and slowly said, I don't have the celestial jades, only this star map. She looked at the spirit beast inside the bubble. She was tempted by this and had given a good price, but the other still didn't agree. Wang Lin's eyes lit up. After pondering a bit, he softly said, I'll take this star map for 10,000 celestial jades. Wang Lin looked at the old woman in green. This old woman looked meaningfully at Wang Lin. She nodded and threw a jade at Wang Lin. After they finished the exchange, Wang Lin put the jade away. The old woman and the old man in black's trade was also successful. The old man smiled and nodded at Wang Lin. Wang Lin's 10,000 celestial jades caused the old monsters here to pay him a bit of attention. However, 10,000 celestial jades wasn't that shocking of an amount. After looking at Wang Lin, their gazes fell on the feather. The old man with the face filled with scars touched the ring on his finger and slowly said, the vermilion bird from back then is dead and its whole body exploded in flames, so this feather is obviously not an original. I offer 3,000 celestial jades. 5,000 celestial jades. Wuing faintly smiled. This feather is indeed beautiful. I'll offer 8,000 celestial jades. The beautiful young woman chuckled and her voice was very pleasant. Wang Lin's expression was calm as he withdrew his gaze from the feather and slowly said, 10,000 celestial jades. He had to obtain this feather. After hearing Wang Lin say, 10,000 celestial jades, again, even the young scholar revealed a hint of shock. He carefully looked at Wang Lin. The beautiful woman's eyes narrowed and she softly said, "This little friend has a lot of celestial jades, but this feather is indeed pretty, so I'm reluctant to let it go." The old man covered in scars looked at Wang Lin, then he put on a fake smile and said, 13,000 celestial jades. Wu Qing's expression remained the same and he said, 15,000 celestial jades. After he finished, he looked at Wang Lin. He didn't need this feather, but since he saw Wang Lin bid, he was tempted and wanted to see how many celestial jades this person had. At this moment, he had already completely forgotten about the middle-aged man telling him not to provoke Wang Lin. The beautiful woman chuckled and sent a message to the old man in black. The old man in black looked at the beautiful young woman and said, "This is an auction, there is no need to secretly send me offers. Whoever offers the highest price will obtain it. 20,000 celestial jades." The beautiful woman wasn't annoyed and said her price. Wang Lin was calm. He pondered a bit and then said, 30,000. After he spoke, the surroundings immediately became quiet. The beautiful woman looked at Wang Lin again, and her eyes became serious. A person who was able to take out 30,000 celestial jades must have had a big power behind them, even if they weren't at the Nirvana Shatra stage. And this person was able to come to Master Ashenpine's private auction, so he couldn't be simple. One couldn't only look at someone's cultivation level. After pondering for a moment, the beautiful woman shook her head and no longer offered. Not only her, but even the old man covered in scars looked at Wang Lin and shook his head. He didn't continue to bid. They were people who were here to trade, so they naturally wouldn't deliberately make it difficult for each other. The young scholar looked at Wang Lin with even more interest. He had already noticed that when Wang Lin first entered, he was extremely calm when facing all these Nirvana Shatra cultivators. There wasn't the slightest hint of discomfort. If it was another Nirvana Cleanser cultivator, they would have been frightened silly and wouldn't dare to compete with a Nirvana Shatra cultivator for treasures. This point was enough to explain the problem. This person must have had something that allowed him to remain this calm. The pupils of the old woman in green who got the beast soul shrank. She looked at Wang Lin and began to ponder. Master Ashenpine still smiled and watched everything. He wasn't surprised that Wang Lin had a lot of celestial jades. Just the deposit he had given Ouyang Long included thousands of celestial jades. This alone proved Wang Lin's courage and determination. The old man in black laughed. He was about to speak, but at this moment, Wu Qing laughed. 35,000 celestial jades. Fellow cultivator Lu, it isn't that this old man wants to compete with you. I'm doing this because I have great use for it. 40,000, Wang Li frowned. 45,000 celestial jades. Wu Qing still smiled. He wanted to see if the person before him would top his bet or not. 50,000. Wang Lin's expression gradually turned cold. 55,000 celestial jades. Wu Qing still smiled. Everyone here was an old monster who had lived for tens of thousands of years, so they immediately saw through his intent of playing Wang Lin. The beautiful woman frowned. Not only her, but all the other old monsters also frowned. They had all come here to trade and found this kind of behavior extremely disgusting unless there was a feud. Even Master Ashenpine revealed a hint of unhappiness. Since fellow cultivator Wu is going to compete with me to the end. Wang Lin was angry, but he smiled and looked profoundly at Wu Qing. I don't want it anymore. After Wang Lin finished speaking, he simply closed his eyes to cover the killing intent within. Wu Qing's eyes lit up and he laughed. Thank for letting me win. With that, he took the jade and made the deal with the old man in black. Due to Wu Qing's interruption, the auction gradually calmed down. Everyone else took out things they wanted to sell and even Wang Lin took out a few things. It didn't take long for this auction to end, and everyone left one by one. As for the result of the bet, it would take some time to get, so there was no rush. That person has a lot of celestial jades. Even when Wu Qing left, he was still smiling. He looked at Wang Lin before walking out from the room. At this moment, Wang Lin and Master Ashen were the only ones left in the room. As for Ouyang Long, he had left accompanying the other old monsters. It was the first time Wu Qing was invited by this old man. I didn't think he would act like this. This is my fault for not recognizing his nature, which might have brought fellow cultivators some trouble. Master Ashenpine shook his head as if he was unhappy about Wu Qing's action. No problem. Wang Lin remained calm. Master Ashenpine pondered a bit and said, how about this, fellow cultivator can stay in the main city for a while. After the auction is over, me and few of my old friends will be heading out. We can send you off so that Wu Qing won't dare to have any malicious thoughts about you. Without waiting for Wang Lin's answer, Master Ashenpine's expression became serious and he said, fellow cultivator want to trade for 5,000 origin crystals. Is this true? Wang Lin nodded but didn't speak. Master Ashenpine's right hand reached at the void and opened his storage space. He took out a storage bag and threw it at Wang Lin. He then stared at Wang Lin with shining eyes. No one could see through his thoughts. Wang Lin caught the bag and checked it with his divine sense. There were 5,000 origin crystals inside. Origin crystals were extremely rare in the Cloud Sea, and 5,000 origin crystals was an astronomical amount. It was unknown how Master Ashenpine had obtained so many. After putting away the bag, Wang Lin opened his own storage space and took out the bag he had prepared with celestial jades. He threw it at Master Ashenpine, who caught it, and after checking it with his divine sense, revealed a smile. Do you still have more chaotic origin pills? Wang Lin looked at Master Ashenpine. I obtained the chaotic origin pills by accident from inside a relic. There were only 9, but I still have great use for the other 8. Master Ashenpine declined. Wang Lin no longer said any more and got up to leave. After Wang Lin left, Master Ashenpine's smile disappeared and he muttered, my origin crystals are not something that can be taken so easily. After walking out from the room, Wang Lin's expression was neutral and he let out a cold snort. Since he had dared to come here, he wasn't worried about people finding out he had so many celestial jades. Just like Master Ashenpine, who was only a member of the treasured jade sect but had so many origin crystals. Thinking about the origin crystals, Wang Lin's heart skipped a beat and he left through the passage. That Master Ashenpine definitely has evil intentions, but he doesn't know that my intentions are more vicious than his. 5,000 origin crystals aren't enough for me to nourish that mutated beast. If I want the mosquito beast to rank up with that mutated beast and be able to protect me in the wind celestial realm, I need enough origin crystals. After leaving the passage, Wang Lin met Ouyang Long along the way. Ouyang Long led Wang Lin back to the pavilion and Wang Lin left. The sky was no longer bright and the noise had subsided. Wang Lin stopped after walking several steps in this calm street. A ripple appeared behind him and the old woman who got the beast soul walked out. She coldly looked at Wang Lin before waving her right hand and throwing out a jade. There are errors on that star map. This is the real one. Be careful of Wu Qing. With that, she no longer paid any attention to Wang Lin and disappeared. Wang Lin held the jade and swept it with his divine sense before putting it away. When he turned around, his expression turned cold. The cultivation world respects the strong. Trying to hide all the time is not good. I should do the opposite of what I normally do and be arrogant for once. This should dispel some people's suspicions. Wu Qing. If you're looking for death, then I'll grant your wish. Wang Lin flew out from the city with a sneer. He flew off the floating stone and charged to a plain in the west. Shortly after he left, another ray of light flew out. It was Wu Qing chasing after Wang Lin. A storm began to brew. Wu Qing's departure caught the attention of many powerful cultivators that knew why he was leaving. It's a pity. In the main city, the old woman in green revealed a sigh of pity and shook her head. Powerful cultivators like this old woman were well aware of Wu Qing's departure. Aside from Wu Qing's fame, it was more related to his identity. He was, after all, an elder of the rank 6 Devil Collection sect. His departure naturally caught the attention of many old monsters, especially those who guessed why he was leaving. In the eastern part of the main city of Penglai, Master Ashenpine sat in the room where the trade happened. He held a jade in his hand and was filled with uncertainty. If I go there again with this many celestial jades, I will definitely succeed. He took a deep breath and was about to go over his plan once more when his head suddenly jerked up. It was as if his eyes could penetrate the room and see Wuing flying through the sky outside. Although Wuing is at the Nirvana Shatra stage now, not only has his greed not decreased, it has actually increased. What's even better is that while he thinks of himself as a schemer, he is actually just a very conceited man. I invited him to participate because I heard there was some friction between his Devil Collection sect and Lu Shihao, and I wanted to see if I could cause a dispute. Since he is chasing Lu Shihao, this Lu Shihao will without a doubt die. Forget it. Since I did trade with him, I won't let his origin crystals fall into someone else's hands. Master Ashenpine revealed a grim smile as his divine sense shot out and closely followed Wuing. In the fourth floor of a restaurant in the main city sat a man and a woman. The man wore white, and the woman opposite of him was a beautiful young woman. Her flower dress made her face even more beautiful. The two of them looked at the distance at the same time. The beautiful young woman sighed and shook her head. That little guy hasn't cultivated for long enough. He easily revealed his treasure and caused a fatal calamity on himself. What a pity. The white-cloaked scholar pondered a bit and revealed a strange look, then he smiled. I don't think so. Although that little guy's cultivation level is below Wuing's and he clearly knew that Wuing was after him, he still dared to exit the main city. He must have something planned. Oh. This little woman doesn't agree. It seems the little one was frightened and wanted to leave early. I didn't think Wuing would disregard his own identity and pursue him. The beautiful woman chuckled and looked at the scholar in white. We'll know the result when we see it. The scholar smiled as their divine senses spread out toward Wuing. There was an old man with face filled with scars walking slowly through the street with his hand behind his back. He was looking around at the surrounding buildings and was filled with reminiscence. If it wasn't for Master Ashenpine continuing to invite me, I fear I would have never stepped on Penglai again. He let out a sigh as he looked into the distance and his eyes lit up. What a good example of the big bullying the strong and the strong preying on the weak. He's blatantly trying to kill someone for their treasures. The old man laughed as he appeared on a rooftop and sat down. His divine sense spread out and he looked lively. In the inn of a smaller city away from the main city sat a skinny old man in black with two balls in his hands. He was standing next to the window as he looked at the bright sky. His divine sense had spread out far. I let that Wuing get ahead. Unfortunate. All the old monsters that participated in Master Ashenpine's auction thought Wang Lin would without a doubt die. All aside from the scholar in white. Even though the scholar was a bit skeptical, in his heart he knew that Nirvana Cleanser cultivators had no chance of surviving a battle against a Nirvana Shatterer cultivator. Not only them, but some other Nirvana Shatterer cultivators in the city were alerted by Wuing's departure, and their divine senses spread out. One of them was Tang Lehai. Tang Lehai was sitting inside his room and suddenly opened his eyes from his cultivation. He frowned and hesitated a bit before letting out a sigh, but he didn't try to stop Wuing. So one said not to provoke that person. Wuing, why must you be like this? A middle-aged man was sitting next to the table in the room beside Tang Lehai. He held a wine cup in his hand and had just swallowed a mouthful. However, he suddenly raised his head and coldly looked at the distance. Wuing, you're reckless. After hesitating for a bit, the middle-aged man charged off into the distance. There were also powerful cultivators of various factions who didn't spread out their divine senses. However, after noticing all these old monsters spreading out their divine senses, they were surprised and also began to observe. At this moment, an undercurrent began to move because of Wuing's departure. No one could predict what would happen next. They will all be shocked and his name will become something they won't be able to forget. He will climb higher and higher. The battle at Penglai will be where he displays his power to the Cloud Sea. Li Qianmai wasn't in an inn in the city on the eastern part of Penglai and instead was at a towering peak. As she sat there, the powerful wind caused her hair to flutter. Her eyes shined brightly as she silently looked west. Wang Lin moved like lightning. After he left the city, he charged straight for the plain to the west. Another shadow followed closely behind him at an even faster speed. The two of them were flying one after the other and got closer and closer. At this moment, they arrived at the boundary between the western and eastern parts of Penglai. It was a plain filled with rocks, a very good place to kill. Not only did Wang Lin need to win, he needed to win this fight clearly, fairly, and fast. Only then would this deter the other cultivators on Penglai and make them aware that he, Wang Lin, couldn't be provoked. If this was it, it wouldn't display Wang Lin's intent. Not only was he going to kill Wu Qing, he was going to make it so the people of the Devil Collection sect wouldn't dare to attack or get revenge. He had to make them fear and make them worry. Before he learned about the Rank 9 region, he was a bit worried, but after learning about it from Li Qianmai, all his worries were gone. Wang Lin's feet suddenly stopped and he slowly turned around. He looked at Wu Qing's figure that was charging at him like a violent gust of wind. Wu Qing's eyes were filled with killing intent, he didn't even try to hide it. Seeing that Wang Lin was no longer escaping, he waved his right hand and immediately attacked at full power without holding back. He activated his early-stage Nirvana Shatterer cultivation and a giant mountain appeared before him. As he waved his hand, this mountain smashed toward Wang Lin. "Junior, don't blame me for being cruel. You hurt a junior of my Devil Collection sect, so you must be prepared to be killed. Today this old man will destroy your body and use your origin soul to refine a pill." Wang Lin's expression was cold as he stared at the mountain closing in at him. When it was 5 feet away from him, he raised his right hand and threw a punch. This fist and the mountain collided with a heaven-shattering bang. An earth-shattering crackling sound echoed and the mountain unexpectedly collapsed. Wang Lin withdrew his right hand and shook his head. Too weak. Wu Qing was startled and his expression changed. Without hesitation, his hands formed a seal and a black wind and a white wind appeared around him. The two winds charged into the sky and collided to form a grey vortex. "Power to uproot the heavens!" Wu Qing shouted, then he pushed his hand forward. The vortex suddenly began to swell and all the origin energy within 5,000 kilometers began to get sucked into it. The vortex seemed to cover the sky as it descended on Wang Lin. Wu Qing's mind trembled violently. The scene of Wang Lin shattering that mountain with a punch still echoed in his mind. His right hand reached at the void to open his storage space and was about to take out a treasure. Just at this instant, Wang Lin suddenly opened his eyes. They were filled with monstrous coldness and killing intent. He had been waiting for this moment. "Wu Qing, your death has arrived." Wang Lin's voice was like the cold wind as it echoed around the area. When it landed in Wu Qing's ears, it caused him to feel a chill. Just at this moment, Wang Lin stepped forward and his right palm pushed forward. This strike caused all the origin energy with 5,000 kilometers to become chaotic, and at the same time, Wang Lin quickly pointed at the back of his right hand with 2 fingers from his left hand. All the origin energy within tens of thousands of kilometers suddenly gathered under Wang Lin's control. This majestic origin energy gathered at Wang Lin's fingertips and went into his right hand. It turned into an unimaginable force that shot out toward the vortex. The two spells quickly closed in and collided, causing a heaven-shaking sound that echoed across a portion of Penglai. Wang Lin's left hand didn't stop and once again pointed at the back of his right hand. The second time it landed, all the origin energy from within 50,000 kilometers rushed in like crazy and entered the vortex Wu Qing's spell had made. This didn't end here. Wang Lin casually withdrew his left hand. Then, as if he was reaching for the sky, he formed the third finger. This time, all the origin energy from Penglai seemed to have started boiling and gathered in Wang Lin's right hand. It formed a destructive aura and charged at the vortex. The vortex trembled and instantly collapsed. A powerful shockwave spread in all directions and kicked up dust everywhere. Countless rocks were sent flying, and they all exploded into dust under this shockwave. Endless dust covered the world. Without his original body, Wang Lin could kill an early-stage Nirvana Shatterer cultivator. Now he had his original body, and it was much stronger than before. The power of his body was unimaginable, and along with the power of an ancient god, his ability to kill had increased greatly. After the 3 fingers landed, Wang Lin's right hand slammed down and his origin energy crashed down toward Wu Qing. Wu Qing's pupils contracted. At this moment of life and death, he didn't even have time to feel regret. Treasures quickly flew out from Wu Qing's storage space to stop this force. However, Wang Lin had learned this spell from Master Lu Fu. Although he hadn't learned its essence, with Master Lu Fu's cultivation level, the power of this spell was something even the former celestial emperors had to be wary of. How could Wu Qing's treasures stop a spell this powerful? Wu Qing wasn't qualified to have a treasure that could stop this spell. He was not worthy of having such qualifications. A thunderous rumble echoed and all of Wu Qing's treasures exploded, then the black palm landed on his chest. His clothes were torn to pieces and he coughed out blood. He then retreated with a pale face, completely shocked. "You're not a Nirvana cleanser cultivator." Wu Qing's heretical voice could be heard. "Wu Qing, I won't send you off." Wang Lin closed his eyes and lifted his right hand once more. The huge palm print from the Rain Celestial Realm appeared in his mind. The print grew until it replaced everything. He first gained an understanding of this technique back in the Rain Celestial Realm. He had used it without truly understanding it and forced the genius Red Butterfly to retreat. In the Demon Spirit Land, he comprehended the technique again and revealed its potential, shocking Demon General Mo Lihai. The second time he went to the Demon Spirit Land, the palm print shook the heavens and destroyed the 8th floor of the Celestial Cave, shocking Ling Qianhu greatly. In the Alliance, in order to stop the members of the Purple Dao sect from the Cloud Sea from escaping, he used this technique once more and killed everyone in sight. It was at that moment that Wang Lin learned the name of this spell. War Spirit Print. Rank 9 God Sect War Spirit Print. All these thoughts immediately appeared one after another in his mind, from his comprehension to the 4 times he had used it. All these things swirled in his mind until they all collapsed, leaving behind just the handprint. This palm print was filled with unimaginable might that turned into a will that entered his right hand and was shot forward. This palm caused the world to change colors and a rumble to echo. All the dust in the area was being pushed aside as if a storm was sweeping by. The will contained within this palm was the aura of one that stood above even the heavens. A giant palm that covered the heavens and earth appeared before Wang Lin and pressed down with unimaginable pressure. This palm was like the heavens. Beneath it, Wu Qing was like an ant. The moment this palm appeared, the divine sense of all the old monsters trembled and all of Penglai was terrified. War Spirit Print. Rank 9 God Sect's War Spirit Preying. Wu Qing was completely stunned, and a never-before-seen sense of despair filled his body. Even though he was a Nirvana Shatterer cultivator, the pressure of the War Spirit Print still made him feel like the world was collapsing. What was even more shocking was that the legendary War Spirit Print from the God Sect had appeared before him. In his mind, this wasn't just the War Spirit Print, but the entire God Sect. He let out a scream and began to retreat like crazy. The fear in his eyes drowned his mind. At this moment, he didn't care about how his mind was seriously injured and his body was about to collapse, he only wanted to escape. However, he couldn't escape as the palm continued to grow until it filled his vision. In almost an instant, the palm hit Wu Qing, and the entire earth trembled. Wu Qing's body exploded into a mist of blood. His origin soul escaped and was swept by the palm before he could escape. Like a solitary boat in the violent ocean, his origin soul dissipated. The elder of the Devil Collection sect, Wu Qing, died. Even at the moment of his death, he was filled with fear and confusion along with deep regret. The moment Wu Qing died, Wang Lin stepped forward to where Wu Qing had opened his storage space. Only a short period of time had passed since Wu Qing had arrived and was killed. Although it wasn't an instant kill, it was very clean. Wu Qing's storage space didn't even have time to close. Now that he had died, his mark on the storage space was gone and it was rapidly closing. Right before it closed, Wang Lin's right hand reached inside and mercilessly took everything away. This was a method he had thought of to take stuff from the storage space of cultivators above the Nirvana cleanser stage. Kill the other party the moment they open their storage space. This will give you a moment to take their things. At this moment, the palm hadn't dissipated. It was moving forward in an even more crazed manner. It moved forward with an irresistible force and caused earth-shattering rumbles as it scraped across the ground. All of Penglai trembled as if it was going to collapse as the palm swept across the surface. As the palm continued to move forward, endless origin energy gathered. This palm that pierced the sky caused all the clouds to shatter and countless cracks appeared in the sky. A thunderous rumble echoed over Penglai. It seemed to be welcoming the reappearance of the war spirit print. The palm moved faster and faster and absorbed even more origin energy. Soon, it broke free from Wang Lin's control. Wang Lin simply withdrew his divine sense and allowed it to move forward as it wished. The ground trembled even more violently and the speed of the palm reached a peak. It was no slower than a Nirvana Shattera cultivator. In the blink of an eye, it flew toward the floating cities on the eastern side of Penglai. This scene was simply too shocking, and all the cultivators on Penglai were startled. Seeing the palm charging at them from the distance, they all flew out from the cities. In an instant, the palm closed in and collided with one of the floating stones. The stone immediately collapsed and the city on it completely was disintegrated. It wasn't able to stop the palm from moving forward at all. As the palm passed, endless rumbles echoed and more than 10 of the stones on the right side collapsed. The palm passed by the right side of the main city in the center, causing the entire stone to be pushed slightly to the left. An earth-shaking sound replaced everything in the world. The palm penetrated the eastern part of the main city and shot off into the void. It was as if something was battling the heavens. One palm to pierce the heavens. It broke through the protective barrier of Penglai and went into space. Large amounts of fog entered the palm, causing its power to increase greatly. There was a wild continent not far from Penglai. It was a forbidden land of the treasured Jade sect, and they didn't allow any outside cultivators to step on it. The palm was heading straight for it. In just a moment, the palm absorbed endless fog and turned into a huge palm with no end in sight. It looked like a palm from an ancient god when it landed on the wild continent. Rumble, 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 rumble. Unimaginable fluctuations came from the starry sky. The wild continent trembled violently as it fragmented into countless large pieces and collapsed. The palm dissipated. Wang Lin was shocked. He didn't think the palm would have such power once it was out of his control. He vaguely guessed that the palm print in the Rain Celestial Realm had appeared like this as well. In the distance, the middle-aged man from the Devil Collection sect stared at all of this and gasped. His eyes were filled with disbelief, and Wang Lin had caused a terrifying storm to set off in his heart. This is the war spirit print. This person's identity, his face was pale and he was in shock. The fear in his mind made it so it was impossible to even think of getting revenge for Wu Qing. At the same time, all the cultivators on Penglai were shocked, especially the old monsters that had their divine senses around the area and saw this. They were all stunned. Master Ashenpine's eyes widened and he crushed the jade in his hand as he stared straight ahead. His mind trembled and his face was pale as he subconsciously licked his lips. He. Who the hell is he? The scholar in white and the beautiful woman also left the restaurant when the giant palm print swept by. Half of the city was destroyed. The beautiful woman was completely pale and her pupils shrank. Her mind was shaken and she was completely speechless. She had just called Wang Lin a little cultivator, but her heart was now filled with endless disbelief and a deep chill. Killing Wu Qing and using the war spirit print. This person can't be provoked. The scholar in white gasped, but his eyes shined brightly. However, the light wasn't able to cover up the shock in his mind. Not far away, the old man filled with scars was frozen in place. He still couldn't believe what had just happened. I didn't think he was someone from the God sect. The war spirit print is too scary. The withered elder in black was the most fortunate. At this moment, the two balls in his hand had stopped turning. His face was pale as cold sweat dripped from his forehead and he took a deep breath. Fortunately, Wu Qing attacked first, otherwise, I would be the one to die. The Devil Collection sect will soon be wiped out for daring to provoke someone from the God sect. There was also the old woman in green that had sold Wang Lin the star map. Her eyes lit up and she frowned as she suppressed the shock in her heart. She looked at the ruins left by the palm print, but no one knew what she was thinking. The one that was most shocked was Tang Lehai. His lips were dry and he was completely frightened. If he were to face Wang Lin again, he wouldn't be as calm as he was before. Every single early-stage Nirvana Shatterer cultivator would feel extreme fear towards someone that could kill an early-stage Nirvana Shatterer so quickly. In addition to them, the cultivators from various sects and old monsters that were here for the auction, especially those that saw the battle, all looked toward the west with complicated gazes. Wang Lin's expression was calm as he patted the dust off his clothes. He walked forward, and not far before him was the pale, middle-aged man that was hiding at the inn. "You're late. This video will end here.